Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Happy Friday. It's Miguel Lloyd with Life Full Circle Radio. I don't even know my name right now. What is going on? What is going on? This week we're going to have an interesting show today as we're going to talk about the Trump impeachment trial, what's going on, and really how much that's probably a waste of time. But hey, oh well, that's what they want to do. We'll talk about that. There's a Republican, black Republican Nigerian dude out of, I think, Michigan who wants to cancel Black History Month. So we'll talk about that and how much of an idiot he is. And kid, don't let me forget the joke, the running joke around social media is how bad most black Republicans' haircuts are. So we're going to talk about how you can always notice a black male Republican by his hairline. It's just hilarious. All right, so we're also going to talk about. I got an interview with my man Patrick Henderson, who is an entrepreneur, real estate entrepreneur. We're gonna get some of those in more often because that's super important to make sure that we know how to make some dough. I just got to bring you in because you over that joint you just cracking up over there. Them your people.
But let me tell you why it's making me laugh. Think of all the black Republicans, not just the men. Look at the weaves on Diamond and Silk. Look at the hair on Candace Owens. It's all of them. It's
It's
all of them.
always
They
it's
all,
always bad.
it's like they're like, well, we know black stylists and barbers are all mostly Democrat, and if we go there, they're gonna mess us up on purpose. So we just have to figure it out on our own. Like,
My name is Miguel
what's
Lloyd.
up,
I'm the host.
everybody?
That's the
Happy
super
Friday.
producer right there, Kia. And part of our show today, we're going to have a little bit of baby update. We want to know what's going on because you got about another 60 days before you pop out. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, this show is going to be interesting. We're going to talk a little during our social check-in. We're going to talk about this whole situation with Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson and Britney Spears. And I'm busy. I ain't got time to be worrying about a 90s a pop star, and so
The
but
90s, back to the 2000s, but whatever, that's fine.
back to the 9 and whatever. I tried. Was that?
And we have to talk about Super Bowl.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about Super Bowl. I got some interesting takes on the Super Bowl. Hey, Tom Brady once again. It's just one of those things that by the time we got to halftime, I was just waiting for something to happen to try to change the game, and it just was not going to happen. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. I think one of the first things I posted was, "It is what it is. He's the best quarterback to ever play. Stop coming up with all these other excuses and reasons to try to act like he's not who he is." Right.
Yeah, I mean, I know no offense to anybody else. I know people sat through the entire game. Once halftime was over, the score was still like a little. It wasn't close, but it was like maybe they could, But the Bucks are known for messing up after halftime. I'm from Tampa. I know how this goes.
Right.
Once I saw the score hit like 27-9, I was like, I'm going to bed. I'm gonna go watch Housewives. Just come into bed whenever you're done because I knew where it was going.
Yeah, that this is no longer these aren't for the whatever however long that Tom Brady's going to be there. Those aren't the Tampa Bay Bucks. Those are the Tampa Bay Times, and the Tampa Bay Times just don't lose. Tom Brady just finds a way. He'll give you a couple little games during the year where you feel like, oh, is this the year that he's not going to be as good as he is? No, this ain't the year. So anyway. All right, so as we mention all the time, if you guys want to hang out with us and sew into a little bit, we'll drop that Cash App information and stuff and Venmo and all that good stuff. You want to jump in, but let's get into this thing this week. So let's start off. Let's talk about this Trump impeachment show because that's pretty much what it is. Because
I don't understand you. You saying that alone has me so confused right now.
Why?
Go ahead and do your intro, and then I'll light you up after that.
Okay. All right. So cool. So it's a show. We ultimately they have to find 17 of your buddies, your Republican buddies, that are going to say enough is enough. And they've ran these videos, these horrible videos of horrible videos of people, Mitt Romney going down the wrong way in the hallway and potentially running into the rioters and the staffers of Nancy Pelosi holding hands and they're absolutely fearful as to what is going to happen in their world. It's so much that has been going on, and you look at this thing and you say, you're trying to tell me 17 You trying to tell me they can't find an additional 17 Republicans that will say Trump, you can't ever run again. You, and that's all. That's really all we're asking right now. We're asking you guys to impeach him and put him in a position that he can never terrorize this country again. And the Republicans can't find enough gumption to do that. But you say you're gonna light me up. Bring it on.
Um, I think the reason why I said I was going to light you up is because you called it a show, and I don't feel like it's a show in the way that it kind of came off. And maybe you didn't mean it that way. My thing is, this is necessary. Like you're kind of saying, like this is necessary to show. Hey, we're showing all these awful videos to show that this just didn't happen this one day on January 6th. He has incited different violence situations. I want to say they showed 5 times, some at his rallies, some at different events, but
Yeah,
they've shown these different things, and oh yeah, just knock the hell out of them and all that kind of stuff
right,
has been shown over and over again.
right,
And the videos of Pence being rushed down the stairs,
right.
Nancy Pelosi's aides in skirts and heels, no less, dashing for their lives to get in offices and
Right.
closing the doors, trying to hold the doors.
No, they're not closing, barricading the doors because those nutcases came in the same hallway trying to break into those doors. Yeah.
Yes, barricading the doors, and you can see the Trump people coming down the office. It was way more terrifying than I think the news knew at the time, because of course there's no cameras in those hallways, just security cameras, CTV footage, and more than we knew. And they're trying to prove a point, and the Republicans are just being so spineless, and it's hard to defend them when it's like you all have been talking this law and order crap for the past year since the summertime.
Right.
You all have been saying you're back the blue, which comes to find out is total bullshit, which makes me mad. Like y'all were all pro police. A police officer died. Another black police officer, kind of saved the day. You guys have said nothing about him. Not one word about that black guy.
Right. And he was a guy who literally saved Mitt Romney. Now we know what we saw. Everybody was saying, "No, why won't he just shoot them? Why is he trying to protect himself with a baton?" The whole time he redirected that whole, bastion of nuts up the wrong hallway, so the Mitt Romneys of the world and all of these folks can
the Mike Pence of the world
of the world. Because just imagine how bad it could have been if they would have got to a Mike Pence. And here's the thing, and I've said this, and I want to continue to put this on record. Mike Pence will run for president in 2020, whatever it is, 2024. He's going to run. They're making a sympathetic figure out of him. He's going to run. There's no doubt about it, because what he went through, what his family went through, what they all went through is insane. And welcome back to our tune-in audience. Always good to see the smarty artists in our comments.
What I was concerned about, which this is a female fear, and only because I saw how vicious those white men were. Yeah. Imagine if they would have gotten to the women in the office. What would they have done? Can we even imagine what they would have done? Would they have tried to sexually assault to prove a point one of those women? Do we know that? We don't know that. And that, to me, I think was the most terrifying, and probably what those women were thinking. They've been calling us whores and sluts and this and that, and you're so pro-abortion. Imagine what they would have done. And if that would have happened, it's hard for me to believe that the Republicans are supposed to be, again, so pro-law and order, and you guys just can't stand 10 toes down and say, this was wrong, it's been wrong, and it should never happen again, full stop.
Right, but it's not. We're looking at it like it's a trial, and here's the perfect comment. Yeah, exactly. There's 2 options, but here's the thing. My problem with these 2 options are, if I'm a Republican, I'll give up my seat. Let me go back to law school. Let me go back to practice law. Let me go back to do whatever I was doing before.
Let me go teach.
I guess part of it is, hey, if I leave, because now the whole argument is, well, it could be worse than me who's going to get voted in. I'm just looking at this thing and saying, yes, it's politics. They're going to get primaried. The Trump and his whole crew, they're going to primary whoever goes against Trump. And you know what? It is what it is. Because we got to get to a point that we make decisions in our country to say that, is it more important to win or more important for us to have a country? And what we experience now, what we experienced on the January 6th, and what we're experiencing now with them not having the gumption to say he's just one guy. And my thing is, if you do this, and we said this on the show a couple of weeks ago, get it done now. If you're a Republican, get it done now, because people have short memories. They're gonna be pissed at you now, no question.
Hmm.
And hey, and I don't want to speak for people getting death threats, these elected officials, and all this type of stuff. There's some real issues that are going on, but get it done now and make this guy as much of an afterthought as he can possibly be, so that we can move on and get back to the real conversation between the fiscal conservatives, the progressives, people that are some real issues that people want to debate, and not making a decision on whether or not we're going to have to fight this clown for another 4 to 6 years, or we're going to move on. And this is the part that I said this last week on the show. It still doesn't feel like Biden is president. It still
Because
feels
he's
like
doing what
Trump.
he's supposed to do. He's not
Yeah,
in the muck of mess with all these people. He's
yeah,
in the White House getting stuff done. So is Kamala
right,
Harris.
right,
Which,
right, right. And I agree. I think legislatively we know they're getting the work done. But I'm a communication specialist. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the conversation that's going on. I want Trump to go away. I want him and his whole persona and the way he's driving this country crazy to go away, and it ain't happening right now. So God bless. If we can get through this impeachment trial and something happens, something great happens. But I just don't have any confidence in this system that they're going to make, that these Republicans are going to do what should be the right thing. And here's the thing: we don't live in the Midwest. We don't live in flyover country. They feel like they got to go home. They got to deal with these people, but do what's right. And that's the problem, that they're not putting what's right into the forefront. And it's a scary thing, man. It's a scary thing. But so yeah, man. It's when I think I'm going to bounce a little bit. I think I'm going to bounce a little bit, because I want to talk, because we're talking about the Republican. Let's get this kind of part of the conversation out the way. I want to talk about this guy. So let's set up this story. This guy, his name is what is his name? Daniel or Ching? What is his name?
I think it's pronounced change, but it's
Okay,
spelled Chenge.
yeah, Nigerian brother. He's in he's up in Michigan, and here's his tweet. I will cancel Black History Month in Michigan. It's offensive, unfair, maybe illegal. Americans from all over backgrounds deserve a revered history. I declare American History Month. Austin, blah 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 blah. What's up with you people?
No,
Hey,
he
I
doesn't
know.
belong to us. I mean, he's not a Republican. I don't get the point of Kance. He's saying it seems illegal, but there also is Hispanic Heritage Month. There's also, I want to say, Asian Heritage Month. I could be making that up, but it seems like a thing. But
Well,
there's
I know
definitely his.
there's definitely Hispanic Heritage Month, and so yeah, so
Yeah, these months were made to recognize people that aren't normally recognized in regular history books and regular history classes, because they're not. That's why these were made up. I mean, I don't understand what the point of getting rid of Black History Month, but I feel like this has been on the map for some people for a long time as far as getting rid of Black History Month, because now I don't know if you heard about this in Utah, about how parents are being given the option to opt out of their child learning Black history. Like, you can actually sign a little waiver that says your kid does not have to participate in Black history education.
here's the sad thing about this is that we all know that Black people have been treated like the crap, like crap for from the time we got to this country, brought in as slaves, and we won't have the argument about who was here, and there are some. But the bottom line is the bulk of African Americans, American descendants of slaves, have been treated like crap for the betterment of 400 plus years. The only thing we ask is, in the shortest day of the year, shortest month of the year, you just recognize that we've got some people who've done some great things. We're not saying you got to go back
Yeah.
and recognize slavery. We're not saying that you gotta relive any of that. All we're saying is that recognize Martin and Carter G. Woodson and Shirley Chisholm and Harriet Tubman. Just say, hey, they did great things. And idiots like this guy, I don't use. I try my best not to use those terms that get used by but now this guy,
Is Are we not supposed to use the word dumbass? Like, what phrase are we not supposed to use?
okay.
No, I'm serious. Like we can't. Like
You
what
are in
phrase are we
rare.
not going to
You
use?
are in rare form today, boy. 7 months
I'm
into what?
asking a legit
I don't. I,
question.
I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't do. I don't use the terms like Uncle Tom. I don't do. I don't do the coon. I don't
I
do.
just
You
wanted
know.
you to say
You just wanted me to
it.
say it. I, but I'm not gonna lie, man. That stuff be in my head. I just like. I just want to find a name to call them. And then here's the funny thing. The funny thing is that, you know, this is the funny thing I saw on social this week. You can tell a black Republican by his hairline. And that may not make sense to a lot of people, what I'm
It
saying
does.
right now, but we
It
know when these guys come around with these raggedy hairlines and these crazy flat tops like Allen West, and you look at them and something about, and here's the funny thing. I saw this, I don't know how I missed this. There's a video out there. There was a skit that Key and Peele did. Did you ever see
Yeah.
that skit? I didn't see that skit till like 2 days ago, and we'll try to find it and
It's
drop
an
it.
old skit.
Oh my God, that skit is hilarious. When it's just, and I think Malcolm Jamal Warner is in the skit as well, and they basically talking about all these pissed off black Republicans. But you know, it's just something I don't know what it is, and I know it. I'm not gonna characterize it
But it's
totally.
not all black Republicans
It's
because
not. It's just
Condoleezza
funny.
Rice was always laid. But I feel like the recent ones, like once we got past Colin and Condoleezza, then people were like, okay, like y'all acting crazy. We can't be bothered with y'all. Fix your own hair. Go find a hot comb. Go find a razor. Light yourself up.
It's crazy. All this. Y'all. They go into supercuts instead of going to no local neighborhood barbershop, because if you get in that barbershop, here's some. All right, here's the thing, black Republicans. If y'all friends with super producer here, and y'all follow her on Twitter, and y'all hang out with her, you say, well, I'm gonna go check out her show. Dadgummit. Don't go to the black barbershop talking that stuff, man. I'm just letting you know. If you haven't been to a real barbershop, because I'm assuming you guys are going to supercuts or whatever you're doing, you go to a real barbershop, a lot of those brothers are 1 to 2 degrees separation from a life of crime. I'm just letting you know.
From jail.
I'm just letting you know. They might take you out back. They may call their homeboy around the corner with the Caribbean restaurant that might have a machete. You might show
That's
up.
how they learned. That's how they became good barbers. That's how they learned the trade in jail. Keep playing if you want to. But I've never had the problem. But I mean, I also don't, when I get to the salon, I don't go in there and spout all my Republican stuff. And maybe what I feel like a lot of Republicans nowadays are doing is they feel like they need to educate everybody and get people off the plantation. So they want to spout out to everybody like, oh, I'm in the barbershop chair. I got all these black brothers around me. Let me empower them. And ain't nobody trying to hear your empowerment. Why they just trying to talk about women in sports? Like no one wants to hear that.
Yeah. You go ahead up in the barbershop if you want running your mouth like that. I want to see it. So,
Speaking of hair though.
Do what?
Speaking of hair, should we transition into speaking of hair?
you just chomping at the bit. You just chomping at the bit at that one. Yeah, let's because I'm gonna let you lead this part of the conversation. So let's jump into this conversation about this sister here.
But I want your opinion first, so you lead it.
No. It's all on you. You. I want to hear what you got to say about Gorilla Girl's hair. Am I saying it right? I got to make sure I don't.
Okay, so while I'm talking about this, go ahead and share so people can come in and watch my very silly statement that I'm about to make. So, Gorilla Glue Girl, whose name is Tessica Brown, she was doing her hair one day in the ponytail that you see on the screen. She did not have any of her Gotta Be Glued spray, which comes in a yellow bottle with a silver top. I have it. A lot of women use it to put their wigs down. She ran out, so thought she could use Gorilla Glue spray adhesive. Like the kind with the metal ball on the inside that you shake.
The same stuff you get from Lowe's. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, the same stuff you get from Lowe's, from the hardware aisle, the home repair aisle, the same stuff you use to put a couch back together. Like when somebody breaks it, that's what Gorilla Glue is for. So she thought that she could just put that on her hair, and she told in an interview that she thought she could rinse it off quickly. That's not how Gorilla Glue works. When you put water on Gorilla Glue, it seals tighter. That's how it's supposed to be used for it to work. And she had her hair stuck for a month, and it became a trending topic when she put it on TikTok. She proved to people that she literally couldn't wash her hair. She went to the emergency room. She went to She went back home, had her girlfriend help her, and finally the surgeon who's on the screen, who's a Nigerian surgeon, was able to sedate. I think they actually put her under because to make sure that she didn't have to deal with pain, and got all the glue out of her hair using a solution of adhesive solvent, avocado oil, coconut oil. I don't know. He used Crisco. I don't care. The issue that I have with this whole situation, that it turned into a referendum on Black women and how they are treated and how they handle their hair. And that to me is where I have to call bullshit.
Where Black women are treated. I don't understand that.
They were saying how the reason why this happened to her is because Black women are so programmed to hate their hair and want it slicked down and so beautiful that they'll do whatever it takes to get that look.
Yeah, no.
Miguel?
Yeah, no. I'm not. I'm okay.
Thank you. Now you can go. Let's do this.
No, I'm not rolling with that. That's
a reach.
That's a reach. I'm sorry. I'm looking at some of these comments and so let's give a shout to Dr. Michael Obing, I believe is his name. I want to make sure that I say it correctly. Hopefully I said it correctly. And any of my Nigerian or Ghana, he's actually Ghanaian. Folks, if I got it wrong, do the phonetic thing in the comments. We definitely have got, last week on our social check-in, it was what's my man's name, the rapper who put the diamond in his forehead and whatever.
Little Uzi Vert
put the diamond in his forehead. And yeah, we do have to love ourselves more. I get that part. I do. I just, I've never been a person who was really all sold on when I like to see women in their natural state. That's just me. Now, and no knock on people who wear weave and wigs and all that. It's cool, but to alter yourself and give you and potentially put yourself in health danger for some hair is beyond ridiculous to me. And, when it's all said and done, this girl don't need to be blaming nobody but herself.
No.
For doing this. It ain't on nobody but you, sis. For you decide that you're going to put some Gorilla Glue, not just the Elmers you get at Publix, not the stuff that you went in your kid's drawer in their room because they know they homeschool, so all your stuff at the crib anyway. No. You going to go get Gorilla Glue. The stuff that they have the commercials with the dude with the hat on it, with the construction hat on his head hanging, with his leg kicking. That's what you're gonna glue your hair onto your head.
Here's my beef. I don't understand how this became a referendum for Black women because we don't do this to white women. If you go on YouTube right now and look up hair dye fail or going blonde fail, it is all white women who have burned their hair off to the root trying to go blonde, and no one ever says, oh, well, they just heard blondes have more fun, and that's why they did this. They were just feeling so insecure because they couldn't have the blonde hair they wanted. They just wanted to join society and fit society's beauty rules. We never say that about white women when they like the other white woman who wanted to have straighter hair, so she went and got a dark and lovely perm. She burned her hair off to the root too. No one said nothing about her. Whenever it's a Black woman, we get put in the victim box.
Well, here's the thing. This is not an everyday thing what just happened with this woman. It's not.
No, it's not.
I don't think the issue. I think this as my man Haran just said, this is a special kind of stupid. We just. It's a special kind of stupid. This is funny. You know what makes it funny? You know how somebody falls down the stairs, and you run up on them, and you like, "Are you okay?" And once you realize that they're okay,
then you point and laugh.
This is what this is. Now that this woman is okay, this is just stupid. You just
no, it is just stupid. And there was some lawyer. I think he said he's a lawyer. I don't know, but he said that the Gorilla Glue container was not clear. It only says that you shouldn't put it on your skin and clothing. It says nothing about hair. Now, I'm not a genius at all.
Stop it.
But if I can't put it on my skin, I can't put it on my hair. If I can't put it on my clothing, I can't put it on my person. So what's unclear about this? And Gorilla Glue has been in business for a while and they never have had this happen before.
I'm hoping that I really do hope that she got her special. She got her 5 minutes of fame.
She got $13,000 from a GoFundMe, and she's now verified on Instagram and has 700,000 followers.
And to that is the reason why there will be another idiot that will pop up on our thread doing something
There
dumb.
was there was a guy who didn't believe that she actually got it stuck in her hair, so he accidentally glued a Solo cup to his lip, and now he has to have surgery.
Okay, so next up on our show, we're going to talk about,
All right. I knew that was going to happen, but I'm just saying, I'm here to report the news. I don't make the news, I just report it. And that's what happened.
God's sakes, man. Social media, man. I just, oh God. Oh God. All right, let's move on. So as we know, I'm very, very passionate about entrepreneurship and specifically Black entrepreneurship because bottom line is, no one is going to fix these problems that we have all by ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. So earlier this week, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine, Patrick Henderson. He's a real estate investor here in the Atlanta market, and I want you to check out his story. We'll be back after this interview with Patrick L. Henderson. We want you to get empowered here through our platform. All right, welcome back to Life Full Circle Radio. As we mentioned today, we're going to have an entrepreneurial spotlight. As I had the opportunity to meet this brother about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, man, when we first connected. We still claim we got the dopest class in the history of the 100 Black men of Atlanta. But this is my man, Patrick L. Henderson, real estate entrepreneur. Good evening, my brother. How you feeling?
Going good. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Yeah, man. So, one thing about our class of members here with the 100, we got folks that are doing a lot of amazing things. But you are a real estate entrepreneur. Talk to us about what that means.
Well, I dibble and dabble in various options inside of the real estate spectrum, from developer, builder, teacher, coach, consultant. But, my main claim to fame dealing with that is I'm a real estate developer. We deal with high-end modern homes. And we've been doing that for some time now, and it's been a great space to be in.
So when you talk about doing high-end modern homes, so you're in the Atlanta, Georgia market. And there are a lot of people who don't believe that there are people like you exist. It's a brother out there who's in the real estate game. And what we know is that God ain't making no more dirt. So you are in that, that is where 1/3 of all wealth creation is right there in the real estate game. How did you get started?
Well, it's crazy because my background is in IT. I used to own an IT company, and back in 2004, I started doing some, your basic dibbling dabbling inside of the real estate game, paint, carpet, your lipstick renovations as they call it, and things were going really, really good for me during that time. And then around that '06 timeline, the market crashed.
Right.
When the market crashed, people kind of reverted back to doing what they traditionally was brought up to do. Me, myself being IT consulting, went back into that field all the way up until 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2013, I, had the courage after, licking my wounds of what took place in that real estate downturn back in '06.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped full speed into, the construction side of it again. But what I was doing was I was dealing with, $200,000 and $300,000 houses, and I was finding that it was very difficult in order to get some of these deals done, finding deals, things that made sense. And so what I decided to do was kind of elevate the game. I decided to go in with the higher end because I had less competition in that market space. So I started dealing with your properties where we would buy a lot or a house for $300,000, add just over a $500,000 budget, and selling over $1 million. And I found a nice niche in that market, myself being from California. Modern homes were, the thing to do, back west. And as of late, we are now starting to get that here in Georgia. And it has, taken off by storm. A lot of my clientele on the modern side are C-suite executives, athletes, entertainers, doctors, lawyers. But it has been a space where I've been able to carve out and really be able to hit that higher echelon, but still be able to pull out a product that I really, really enjoy doing.
So you just laid out a scenario. Okay, so your investment initially was $300 to get the property. It was $500,000 to build it up, and you sold it for $1 million. So in that scenario, you would clear, a couple $100,000. Am I following the math?
That's you're following the math. And so when I started doing projects like that, it allowed me to say, hey, you know what? We're entering a market space that is not affected the same way, from a recessionary period that a $200,000 or $300,000 house is. Traditionally, you're going to buy a million plus home. You pretty much have your things in place in order to be able to purchase it, maintain it, and recessions don't necessarily affect them the same way it would somebody in a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 house, as well as the clientele that we generally sell a lot of these homes to. So we found a niche in that market. Now, not to say that we don't, I don't develop in other markets and price points. I do.
Right.
It's just that I found a really good area to really concentrate on.
So let's go back to 2004. You got into this game. People think that there's some barriers of entry. I can't get into that. I can't get into real estate investing, right? Talk to us about how you were getting yourself together financially, credit management, saving. Sure. Kind of talks about your genesis, how it began when you put yourself in a position where you can now go to banks and get these type of resources to make these bigger bills.
Absolutely. So I was in a position at that time myself where, I had already owned a company. I'd owned a IT firm. And so it allowed me to use the capital that I had in place from that. And I used the money that I did with my consulting projects and my IT firm, and use that as seed money in order to move forward from a fix and flip. So we were finding houses that were sub 100. You may find something for $50,000. Any house in Atlanta, once it's fixed up, is definitely worth 100. So we would find something for 50, add in paint, carpet, and just, light renovations, and been able to start turning a profit. And that just escalated. My niche in that market space were burnouts, back when. That really propelled me to really learn.
What is a burnout?
So what it is when you find a property that may have caught a fire. And at that point, you have the homeowner, they had a tremendous loss. Yeah. They turned around and they got paid out via the insurance company, and it's emotional detachment at that point.
Right.
And from there, they were able to sell me the property that was burned out, and I could either rehabilitate it or tear it down and build a new construction. So, just touching on that, I had a chance to really get an understanding of the full life cycle from the construction side. And fast forward to where I am now, being able to do these larger projects.
So I follow you on all social and see the different videos and things that you're doing now. Moving from 2013 when you got back into the game, and now it's 2021. We just we're still in the middle of the pandemic. We're still in the middle of but you've been busy, man. You've been building. How many properties did you work on, or how many projects did you have last year in 2020?
Oh my gosh. I mean, we've been slammed. 2020, at a minimum, about 6 projects in that regard. Quite a few of those are new construction, and then also working on, some small projects for other clients here and there, whether it's a renovation or whether it's a commercial rehabilitation, doing some of that stuff. And then 2021, looking at the vision from what's going on going forward is looking increasingly promising, because we have so many things that are in a pipeline. We've been able to set myself up where I can not only do the consulting on the side for other projects and project management, also building my own projects as well.
So last year, did you have the opportunity to take advantage of any of the programs that were out there that were supporting Black entrepreneurship?
I did some. I mean, I did some of the government programs that was out there, some of the, PPP stuff. But also there were a couple of government grants that were available in order to assist, with continuing through even during that pandemic, because what happens was that April, May timeframe, and even a little bit into March, it was really, really slow.
Yeah.
That's when the pandemic was, just coming out. People were really trying to understand what this actually was and is. Yeah. And that's when it really, really came in handy.
Well, no, it's good. And the reason I asked that question very intentionally, and the reason why is because I think a lot of people felt, because we were going through what we were going through, we had the last administration, we have a new administration now, but, well, there are no opportunities out there for Black people, you know what I mean? But that's not the case. I know a lot of people who took advantage of those programs and those opportunities in 2020, and I want people to have that same mindset now. And you are a testament to the fact that you got your paperwork together, you got your finances together, every bank's not going to turn your way, especially if you have a track record going back, 15 years.
That is absolutely correct. I actually did a class this afternoon for a couple of entrepreneurs who were looking for ways in order to, move their business forward in 2021. But in addition to that, how do they obtain home ownership? Or how do they get an investment property, and really helping them understand how do they need to structure their finances, structure their portfolio, so therefore they can actually take advantage of some of these opportunities out there, especially from the housing market.
Yeah, talk to us
Right
about
now,
that. Let's talk about how people can connect with you and learn from you, because it sounds like that is a part of your business model that you are training. You are training
yeah,
people trying to
I
get to the
believe
game.
heavily in training, not only for myself, but I also believe in training, those around me. And here's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the only one that is doing it, if I'm the only one that has all the knowledge, I'm so encapsulated, and I'm the end all be all. And so therefore I can't get a break. I can't take a vacation. I can't enjoy family life. So the goal is to help empower those who are around me, empower my
Mm-hmm.
team, empower other investors who may want to come in and get involved from the real estate standpoint and really be able to move together in tandem.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're dealing with some of these banks, and the banks won't give you the loans that you're. Let's what if we can do it together? If we can pull our resources, capital, then we're very, very strong.
That's good. That's good. All right. So before we go, you got a new book that's coming out. Tell us about the book and the release date.
The 7 Habits of a Serial Entrepreneur. Basically, what the book is talking about is what does it take to be an entrepreneur in the 21st century? What are some of the ups and the downs and the ebbs and the flows of business? Because people think that, business is all hunky dory and, you always have these highs, but there are lows that are involved as well. But it's how you attack those lows and how do you rebound and move forward from those things, because my motto has always been what can happen will happen. But the goal is what do you do when it happens and how do you rebound from it?
Patrick Henderson, man, I appreciate you, man. Visit him at patricklhenderson.com. How do they find you on social, brother?
Yeah, find me on Instagram, find me on LinkedIn, Patrick L. Henderson on Instagram. And then also new website dropping next week, patricklhenderson.com. So that's how you can find me.
All right, my brother. I appreciate the time, man. Go back out there and make some more money.
I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
And great interview. Patrick Henderson is a really nice guy, and he's doing the work. But what was your takeaway?
I think there's a lot of really great African American investors that are making moves right now. I don't know if you've ever heard of the company Charm City Buyers. They're out of Baltimore. They're helping people buy up a lot of real estate and learn how to do that. There's also a Tia Blair who's also helping people buy up real estate. It is an opportunity for Black people to build generational wealth like that. This is a great way. And what he was talking about makes a lot of sense. And I think, real estate is something a lot of people should get into. And I know some people kind of balk at that first investment you have to do. I think he was talking about that a little bit, right. But in the long run, it makes sense.
Well, as I mentioned, God ain't making no more dirt. So, 1/3 of all the wealth in America is generated by people who own the dirt, who own real estate. And if you're not in that game, if you are generationally, you're a renter, and just start with your own. Just find a house that you can live in, that you can start building some wealth. I've seen it, in properties that we own. Just because we own the property in a certain part, our values are going up. We ain't doing nothing we're taking care of the house, obviously, but just because of the desire to move into the community where we are, we're starting to see the values really go up. This is something we have to really, really be very, very intentional about. And if you get yourself in a position, and there's plenty of credit managers who may be following our show or who are in our community, make sure you start working on that. That's the first thing. Get your credit right. And to get your credit right so that you can make some serious moves.
And I can give you a great recommendation on the show right now. Her name is Dr. Jen Dobson. You can soon to be Dr. Jen Green as of Sunday, but she is on Facebook, and she actually helped me and my husband. She's helped numerous amounts of people that I know get their credit right, especially get their student loans figured out, because that's where a lot of African American people seem to have their debt is in their student loans.
Yeah, that's a biggie. That's a biggie, and that's a whole nother conversation, because of course we've been trying to get people to. Trying to get some loan forgiveness, because ultimately that's what if you coming out of college with $200,000 in debt, That's a hard.
You're useless to society. I know that sounds mean to say, but it is. You're useless to society if you're coming out with $200,000 worth of debt, because now you're basically you can barely survive. You can't buy property. You can't buy a new car. You can't barely do anything because you're paying almost $500 a month in just student loans.
Well, or you need to find yourself a side hustle to find a way to get that debt paid down. But that's
He means selling drugs.
That is not what I mean.
Or prostitution.
I don't mean that either.
That's the only way you're gonna make the money to pay that loan off.
Absolutely not. And if you doubt, don't listen to her right now. She's clowning. Go to AtlantaBlackChambers.org. That's the organization I'm associated with. There's a whole lot of people who are doing some great things, and a good bit of them have day jobs. And especially, here's the thing: can we be transparent right now? A lot of y'all at the crib right now. Even you guys who have jobs and you have these salaries, you working from home. And you don't have that boss looking over your shoulder like what you had for many, many years. So you got your computer here and you're doing your stuff and you're making sure you send out your emails and you're doing everything you're supposed to do for the man. And you sitting over there, that iPad and other phone, and you can get yourself a little side hustle going on. Work on your side hustle. That's how wealth is created.
So let me tell you, I've worked from home for many, many years because I don't do well in office spaces. Miguel knows it's bad for me. But I've worked from home for a while, and because I work for like one main agency, I've been able to partner with like 5 other different companies that have like these different revenue streams coming in. Because as long as the work done's over here, you can get work done over here. Your laptop can come with you on a Saturday because everything is closed right now. Yeah. It's not like I have to run out to go do something. Everything's closed. So all I do is work, eat, sleep, and make sure my son doesn't set the house on fire. That's pretty much it. I got a little note that my mic is low. Everybody, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if my mic is good. I think I'm good, but it sounds good in my ear. It sounds good to me. But
okay, good. So no,
we thought it sounded good last week, and that didn't go well.
You had to go there, right? See what I'm talking about? See, that's why
I'm done. Okay, next topic.
No, you're not. So, but yeah, no, it's a great point. And here's the thing: you're starting to find a lot more corporations who are appreciating the fact that stop trying to look over everybody's shoulder. As long as you get your employee a certain task that they need to get done during the course of whatever time you have them. If they doing something else on the side, they're selling T-shirts or doing hair or whatever in the world they're doing, man, stop worrying about that. You know what I mean? Worry about how much they're helping you make money. And other than that, just keep it moving. All right, let's jump back into that. It's something I know you wanted to talk about. Let's get into our social check-in for the week. I'm going to start having me some music. Just sliding in and everything. I got the little standard. You want to use this? Can you use that? That's pretty terrible. I've not uploaded any music.
It's very Dr. Phil. So we're gonna not use it.
Or do you want to? You want the birds? All right, let's get into our social check-in for the week. Okay, so I'm gonna let you lead this segment because
is that little Kim?
Actually, that's not Janet. Wow, but Janet's cheekbones look real. First of all, let me shout out to my man John Murray. John Murray at Norfolk State University, Behold the Green and Gold, one of the top entertainment guys out there. And he's one of my classmates, so I always like to shout him out. And so this was his post. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Sometimes you do what's right, no matter what people will say. And to that point, Justin Timberlake apologized to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson for his ignorance. In quotations, he said, "I have failed," in quotations. Read his entire statement, Justin Timberlake, and this is something he posted from people. But give us some insight on what's going on, because I ain't been paying attention, and all of both Britney and Janet look kind of bad in that picture, and Justin, like he just eating berries and raisins and stuff. But go ahead.
Yes, Justin looks good in the photo. Brittany is not aged well, but she's gone through a lot. So what's happening is over the past year or so, people have gotten really involved in the Free Britney movement. And I am now involved in the Free Britney movement, and I never thought I was going to be in it. So what's happened is that in 2008, everybody remembers when she had that weird meltdown where she shaved her head and she was beating up the paparazzi's car. She was, having a whole meltdown situation because she found out she was dealing with bipolar disorder. Mm-hmm. There was a conservatorship that was put over that. And what a conservatorship is, because I'm going to give the exact definition, a conservatorship is legally defined as a court case where a judge appoints an individual or organization called the conservator to care for someone who cannot care for themselves or who cannot manage their own finances. Mm-hmm. Now, this normally happens with someone who has dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. It doesn't normally happen with someone who just has bipolar disorder, just has to take a pill every day. So this started in 2008. We are now in 2021, and this girl is still under the conservatorship.
She's still math. That's 13 years.
She's had shows in Vegas where it was super expensive to go to. She has been in commercials. She's done different things. She's been a mom. She's doing her whole life, but she is not a control of any of her finances. They give her a stipend. She's not control of anything. And at this point, it seemed very abusive because her father is now saying, "Oh, don't I deserve more money?" Because he's head of the conservatorship. He's wanting a bigger paycheck. And people are like, "Wait a minute. That's not fair. That doesn't make any sense."
Right. So yeah, that's bad. What's the angle with Janet and why is Justin apologizing?
So there was a documentary that came out last week, and it basically said her downfall started with Justin Timberlake when he wrote that breakup song, Cry Me a River, and how that was toxic and how it was revenge porn. And Justin has never apologized for it. I didn't think he needed to apologize for it. They were two young morons who broke up. Who the heck cares? Breakup songs happen all the time. Right. And people were blaming him on social media for the past 2 weeks, basically saying, "Hey, like it's your fault Britney is like this. You treat women so poorly. You treated Britney like this. Ooh, look what you did to Janet." Now they're bringing Janet back in, which he did do Janet dirty.
He did.
And now he had to apologize.
He did Janet
He did do Janet dirty.
Hey, he did. I'm saying the Super Bowl thing and all that. But my God.
Where's that picture at? Are you going to post that picture?
I'm not.
Okay.
As I think back to my childhood crushes that were Kim Fields and Janet Jackson. Those are my childhood crushes. But what's wrong with your face?
They look the same.
So I will not expose Janet Jackson in this segment. But you know, Britney, these Hollywood people, man, I don't know, man. It's they got a different type of problem. And I'm just like, some of the people.
But here's my question for you as a man. At this point, is the apology, did it even need to happen? Did it even really need to happen? It's been years since all this stuff has happened. Years.
So it's been years. And I always look at what Hollywood or famous people do with a grain of salt. He got a new movie he just dropped 2 weeks ago. She got a new documentary that came out last week. So now that everybody's jumping on him on social media. So, his people probably says, "All right, go put, this is a perfect time to issue an apology. Make sure you stream my movie on HBO Max." I'm not real. All this stuff to me is show. But the fact that she's 13 years later, they won't even let a man draw money, and she's still working hard. I don't know, man. But it's just crazy. What else is going on? I'm done with this. What else is going on in social media? What else are we talking about this week?
Let's go ahead and check my feed because that was the main thing that I had that's going on my feed. What else is happening on the Facebook feed? That's really it. It's Black History Month, so people are posting their Black History Month. Oh, drunk Tom Brady has been on my feed.
Tom Brady.
He was drunkity drunk. Like, I guess when you're not under the thumb of Bill Belichick and you're in, weed and drinking nasty Tampa, Florida, you can do what you want. But he was drunk at that parade.
Yeah. Tom Brady, here's the thing about Tom Brady. It's so funny. People are posting about, one of the first things I did when after the game, I said, stop with the argument about who's the best quarterback in the history of the NFL. It's not a conversation. The dude has been to 10 Super Bowls. He's won 7. People want to tell me, oh, well, he cheated. And then people want to talk about, well, he's a Trump supporter. Okay. Yeah. But also Tampa Bay's team had 4 black and 2 women coaches on their staff.
Yes.
So I'm good. Tom Brady is the best quarterback. I'm not a fan. Will never be a fan. But he made them boys look young. Now, mind you, there's a lot going on. Mahomes was hurt. He didn't have his best left or right tackle, so they just blitzed him every play, made him look bad. That's sports talk. I know you probably getting lost right now because that's not your.
I'm not lost. He just wasn't ready for the game. I don't even think his head was in it 100%. To be honest.
No, I don't roll with that. He had turf toe. If you ever had a toe injury,
I've had turf toe before.
Why?
I'm a
What have you
ballroom
done?
dancer. Don't make that face. Remember I ballroom dance?
That's
Yes,
right.
turf toe. Stop
That's
it.
right. Ballroom dancing is athletic.
Move on with Mahomes. He had turf toe. He
He
didn't
had
have his
turf
best
toe.
tackle.
He had turf toe, and he was playing a second string left and right tackle. They just blitzed him every doggone time, and it was just a smart game. It was smart, and Tom Brady did what he's doing, and he does what he's done. Anyway, yeah, we're looking at it. We appreciate everybody that's in the thread. We've had a lot of folks who've been commenting. Hey Trey, Climax, damn it, I'm not I'm not cussing at y'all. That's his name. That's his line. I'm not posting this about Leon. I'm not.
Leon, what Leon?
Leon, yeah, I am. So Leon is our homeboy who's a noob, and he's a Republican. He's actually and he's clowning his hairline because of course we were talking about the Republicans and their hairlines earlier on.
Is he Republican? Because
Leon is a Republican. He actually works in the state of Arkansas. He's a Republican. My man Duran wants to know, is Don Lemon a Republican because of his hairline?
okay, what we're not going to do, listeners and viewers, we're not just going to post every black person as a messed up hairline. But they're right. Don Lemon's hair is never quite right. It's never quite like, it's never quite all the way there.
Yeah, well, Don's so funny. I haven't watched his show much since Trump has been president because it is what it is. It's just not as interesting, I think. But I know he was going at it for a minute when it came down to. We talked about Dijon wants to talk about Tiny and T.I. We talked about Tiny and T.I. last week, didn't we?
We did talk about Tiny and T.I. last week, but if you want a little bit of a mini update, because we want to make sure our viewers are happy, they've actually been their show was suspended on VH1. They have T.I. and T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle. That show has suspended all production. They've been dropped by a couple of brands, so it's going left for them. But we did go to we went to a full thing last week, but it's not looking good for their brand as a whole. Well, and they spent a lot of time working on that brand.
T.I. posted something on Instagram and I don't know if you saw that. I don't know, man. These people are crazy. And when you start getting to these people say in Atlanta, it's pretty much known that they're swingers. So, to people in that space, they don't really look at it like it's a big deal because they're swingers. I don't know. All I know is if this stuff comes out that they did what he claimed these people did, it's going to get real ugly real quick. Is there Whitney and Bobby Christina documentary that's coming out? I don't know anything about that.
Supposedly there is. Supposedly there's a Whitney and Christina documentary that's coming out, but I haven't seen a trailer. Please, God, don't let it be on Lifetime.
Did you watch it? I haven't watched it. Did you watch the Salt and Pepper documentary?
I refused once I saw the wigs and they left out Spinderella. I was like, I'm not watching this. Like, this seems awful.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Let me make sure we run down. So as we mentioned, today's show, we've had a lot of fun today. We've had a conversation. We talked about the impeachment situation. We talked about the girl surgery, and we had a great interview with Patrick Henderson. Make sure you go back and check that out if you missed any portion of the show. We talked about this clown Republican with the horrible haircut. Who says he wants to cancel Black History Month? Clown. That ain't finna happen. And then which is this guy, whatever his name is. He's supposedly running against the Governor Whitmore in Michigan. And can y'all be done with this guy real fast, real quick, and send him to the barbershop? All right. So our last segment of the day, baby updates.
What?
It's the baby updates.
All right, lady listeners, I need your help because I'm having one of those weird moments. And it's probably just me who has these moments, but
can I jump in right now? I just want y'all to know that's probably the reason why she's been cussing so much on the show today, because her feet are probably swollen ankles, and now she wants to get y'all feedback. So I'm gonna sit back. I want to witness this part.
No. Actually, I as far as symptoms are concerned, like, I don't have swollen ankles, swollen feet. My hands aren't swollen or anything. My face, I still have my original nose. Haven't gone to that bell pepper original Michael Jackson nose yet. Thank you, Jesus. But being pregnant is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. And you hear all these women say things like, oh, being pregnant was the best experience of my life. I loved it so much. Like, I loved being pregnant. Bitch, why? Like, I can't wait to meet my children. I am so excited to meet
I need
them.
to
Me
get
and
the
my
thing where I
husband.
can like stop because you on a thing tonight.
I'm
What?
sorry. Until we have a sponsor and I have to stop cursing, this is what it is. But ladies in the comments, let me know. I have a giant like balloon on my body and I can't get it.
If y'all want to give her some advice, some tea to drink or something to y'all
What is a
drop it in
tea
the
supposed to do, Miguel? What is a tea supposed to do?
I don't know. I'm just
Thank you.
please don't fight me. I'm not in the mood to be fighting right now.
I am 29 weeks though. I'm extremely healthy. I do have to do IV infusions because the babies need a lot of iron. So I have to get needles all the time, which, thanks for the track marks, doc. That's really helping the Black pregnant woman look great around town. Thank you for that. So other than that is my pregnancy update.
Oh man, when are you officially going on leave from LFC and from the world? When are you expecting to have a baby? Where are we at?
The doctor says I should be giving birth between 6 and 8 weeks from now. That is when they're expecting these babies to make their grand entrance. And I will only really be taking 2 weeks off from life.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll find something. We'll find something else to do.
Because that is the downside of being an entrepreneur. My pregnancy was wonderful. Thanks, Dijon. That doesn't help me at all. Why was it wonderful though? Can you post why it was wonderful? What was wonderful about it?
Hey, everybody's different. Trey always tells a story that she was so she was so worried about it, and then Michelle just kind of popped out, and then Layla. I think Layla you put in a little fight. She's our fighter. Layla's our
But
fighter.
there was 9 months between them being this big inside of her to then popping out. So how are those 9 months for you? Because you've never talked about
For
that.
me, oh, they were fine.
That sounds like a lie.
No. We didn't have difficult pregnancies. They were our pregnancies. And here's okay. I didn't carry the baby, so y'all not gonna drop no comments in and tell me something. Y'all didn't have a pregnancy. Trey had a pregnancy. Tracy was she was the one, and I was just there. Just she wasn't a difficult. I don't know what you call a pregnant wife. She was everything was cool. But I've heard some really bad stories and things of that nature, and I'm just blessed that we didn't have to deal with a lot of nonsense. But we're gonna be here cheering you on every step of the way, And then
No, I'm one thing I will say that I'm blessed about, and this is so shallow. It's super shallow. I've heard too many women who have said I gained 50 pounds, I gained 60 pounds my first pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like I was told I was this and that. My doctor is kind of amazed that pregnant with twins, I've only gained 25 pounds total. 27 pounds total. And I'm rounding that 8th month mark.
Okay. All right. Well, you probably all that ballroom dancing you was doing.
Yeah, and my treadmill is on its way here. My treadmill will be here hopefully in the next 7 days, so I can at least stay home and work out and stay healthy and do that. I feel bad for my husband though. He is going through it. This is so bad.
Do I need to pull Omar to the side? What did you do there?
Okay, guys, you're gonna find this funny, but my hormones have finally kicked into like triple overdrive. I've missed out on all that crazy hormone stuff, but now it's pretty bad. Mm-hmm. And the other day he was asleep. Sunday morning, he had got home from work late Saturday night, and I needed him to help me with the groceries. I said, "Hey, can you come help me?" He looked like he was getting up to do it, and then I came back, he was still asleep. So I did it all by myself instead of waking him up again, and then ninja kicked the bedroom door in to wake him up, and like just went like tornado crazy on him.
When ninja kicked nothing, you kicked it down at the bottom because you can't get your legs up.
No. I got my leg all the way up to the doorknob. Like he was stunned. Like I kicked the door in, people. If you can call him right now, he will say, yeah, she was kicking the door in.
Oh my God. So that's our laugh for the day. All right. If y'all been checking out Life Full Circle Radio, if you missed the early part of the show, make sure you go back.
Shout out to John, who only gained 17 pounds. Yes, girl, only gained 17. Shout out to you. Yes.
17 pounds is all she gained. So, hey, Dijon also said she had more energy when she was pregnant, and her hair growth was amazing. So, hey, I guess the moral of the story is the Gorilla Girl needs to get pregnant. Bam.
Way to end the show, Miguel.
All right. Y'all make sure y'all follow us on all the socials. My social handle, Miguel Lloyd Inc. You know, but just go search out hashtag LFC Radio. You can find us on all the social platforms there. Make sure you find us all during the week and all that good stuff. We appreciate y'all. All right, sis, we holler at y'all next week. Peace.